So the other day I'm sitting around and I think to myself, self, you should look at your bank account and look at what you've spent the last month. I grab my handy dandy notebook, open up my smartphone, open up my checking account, and I start going through all of my spending for the last month. The car payment, the insurance, the phone bill, the rent, you know, the life stuff. Then, this is where it gets good. I start slowly calculating the expenses. Trips to the gas station, trips to the grocery store, trips out with friends, maybe too many trips to Target. And this number is growing. I mean, growing. And in this moment, it dawns on me. Maybe I'm not that great with money. Now, I'm not awful with money. Not even close. But I think one of the most dangerous places we can be in is thinking we are in control. Through totaling up all of my spending, that I was able to see some patterns and discern what was really important with me and what was just waste. Look, I could feel a ton of shame through admitting this, but then it wouldn't be helpful. So here's a few financial lessons I've learned along the way from my own personal finances and from working in finance for a time. First off, and let's start here, you make what you make. Regardless of if you should make more, think you should make more, are going to make more, today, you make what you make. Today, you have a paycheck worth X amount of dollars, and that's what you have to work with. We won't dive into all that other stuff today, asking for raises, new jobs, all of that. Think of your gas tank. My car tells me how many miles I have to zero. Now, I can argue with my car all day long, but when that number hits zero, I'm out of gas. Our financial resources are much the same, so spend and invest diligently so that you can live the life you want. If we try to go past what is in our financial gas tank, we are bound to be left stranded on the side of the road. Affording the payment is not the same as affording the object. I worked in auto loans for a while, and I would see people with payments everywhere from $100 a month to almost $1,000 a month. A month. I hear people all the time, especially when it comes to vehicles, say things like, that's a super affordable payment. But the truth is, being able to afford the payment is not the same as being able to afford the vehicle. I can for sure afford the payment on a $50,000 truck. But what sense does it make for me to drive a truck that's about 1 year's salary for me? Even in used vehicles, it's worth running the numbers. Sometimes, by the end of your loan term, you're gonna have paid for basically a brand new car when all of the interest is said and done with. This principle applies to any and all things you can finance. And if you haven't noticed, you can finance anything these days. This one's very personal. I'm titling this lesson, you should probably put that back on the shelf. Outdoor brands notoriously send me coupons for 20% off. And of course I go to their website and I go, yeah, I'll use this thing. I've got 20% off and I'm gonna use this thing. I'd be a fool not to spend the money. But here's the thing, we shouldn't spend without purpose. We can't just be blown by the wind. One good question that I've started to ask myself is, did I wake up intending to buy this thing? Marketing has gotten incredible at exploiting our emotions and timing ads perfectly to make us feel like we'll never be full, we'll never be adequate unless we have insert thing here. Now look, maybe you absolutely need that thing, but if you don't need it today, what is the harm in waiting 1 day, maybe 2, maybe even 3? And sometimes for me personally, when I've waited that couple days and the heat of the moment of I gotta have this thing has passed, I realize I don't actually need that thing. And I don't end up buying it at all. So hey, put that thing back on the shelf. It'll be there tomorrow. Your diet could be killing you. and it's probably killing your wallet. I love food. I love healthy food, and I sure as heck love unhealthy food. But I have a nasty habit of not planning out my lunches for a week of work. I'm not exactly the king of meal prep. But the last few weeks, I've been buying a rotisserie chicken and some frozen vegetables and some low sodium soy sauce. Put them all together and you got yourself a pretty decent little stir fry. I don't eat out a ton, but this little tip has led to less trips to the grocery store where I notoriously put anything and everything I could possibly want into my grocery cart only for it to probably spoil or just sit in the cabinet for like 6 months. What the heck? In Skeleton, we used to have this saying, where you look is where you go. Like the rudder of a ship, just a small adjustment will completely change our course. And so what you're looking at, what you're setting your goals on, that's where you're going to head, financially and in life in general. What do you want in your life? A house, a car, to start your own business, a big white Sprinter van with room for all of your favorite gear and a bed? Wherever you are looking, write it down. When you have that goal written down, the impulse decisions on spending, whether it's $3 or $3,000, whether it's in the grocery store aisle or the Amazon cart, become a whole heck of a lot easier to make. And we start to see that those small decisions of $3 and the big decisions of $3,000 all point us and move us closer or further from the goals we've written. This one might be a little counterintuitive. Give some money away. One of the best things I've done financially is to actively budget in money that goes to others, whether it's organizations I believe in, associations I believe in, or just causes I believe in. When we give money, we obviously help the recipient, but for ourselves, we break that grip that money can have on our life. When we split with our money mentality and we give it to people who are actively managing it and growing it for the good of a community or organization, we see the power that money has when it's well managed. Sometimes giving our money away is uncomfortable, but in that discomfort, we learn to be good stewards of the money we have left after the give. So I don't know what's important to you, but I bet there are some things that are more important than others. And when you stop and you look at 1 month's spending, you might see some waste. Look, if by stopping at a local coffee shop that you love brings you joy and value to your day, don't stop doing that. I'm not here to tell you you can never eat out again, never buy coffee again. If that is what you love and starts your day with some joy, do that thing. But when you look at your spending and you realize you don't maybe care about fancy shoes and fancy clothes as much as you care about that fancy latte, cut back and tighten up there. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to financially ruin the restaurant industry, but I'll tell you from my experience that I don't love eating fast food. I love the convenience of fast food. I do, however, love going somewhere fun with Courtney or some friends and having a really good dinner and a really good drink. So I tighten up on myself and I save that $20 or so a week that I was spending on lunch for fast food restaurants so that I can afford to actually go out and enjoy time at restaurants I love with the people I love. Pick what's important and enjoy your life. Overall, live intentionally, whatever it means to you. Wake up from sleeping at the wheel and put your money towards things that bring you joy and value and life. Good luck. Thanks.